On May 1st, 2026, the world held its breath. A 60-day legal deadline that could have forced an end to the US-Iran war passed not with a vote in Congress, but with a defiant letter from the White House. President Donald Trump has officially rejected a new peace proposal from Tehran, calling it unsatisfactory. At the same time, he's made a bold legal gamble, claiming the war is already terminated because of a fragile ceasefire, effectively bypassing the War Powers Act. Is this a masterclass in maximum pressure or a dangerous bypass of American law? Today, we break down the secret terms of the Iranian proposal, the chaos inside Tehran's leadership, and why the next 48 hours are the most critical since Operation Epic Fury began on February 28th. Let's look at what Iran actually offered. According to reports from Pakistani mediators in Islamabad, Tehran submitted a counterproposal late Thursday night. This was in response to a list of amendments sent by U.S. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff earlier this week. The Iranian offer had three main pillars. First, the maritime trade-off. Iran offered to begin unblocking the Strait of Hormuz immediately. In return, they demanded the U.S. Navy lift its punishing blockade on Iranian ports that has brought their oil industry to a total standstill. Second, the nuclear delay. This is where the deal fell apart. Tehran suggested that maritime and economic issues be settled first, while leaving the nuclear question for a later stage of negotiations. For the Trump administration, this was a non-starter. The White House, along with Special Envoy Witkoff and Senior Advisor Jared Kushner, has insisted that Iran must first commit to never restarting nuclear enrichment at their bombed facilities. Third, sanctions relief. Iran demanded an immediate unfreezing of billions in assets and the removal of recent banking sanctions. Trump's response was blunt. "I'm not satisfied. They're asking for things I can't agree to." While the diplomacy was failing, a constitutional crisis was brewing in Washington. Under the War Powers Act of 1973, any president must get congressional approval to continue military operations 60 days after they begin. That clock hit zero on Friday, May 1st. But instead of asking for a vote, President Trump sent a letter to House Speaker Mike Johnson. In it, he argued that since he ordered a ceasefire on April 7th, and there hasn't been a direct exchange of fire since, the hostilities have officially ended. This has sparked a firestorm. Democrats, led by Senator Adam Schiff and Senator Tim Kaine, are calling this treasonous and unconstitutional. They argue that a naval blockade is an act of war, and having 50,000 troops in the region means the war is very much ongoing. Even some Republicans, like Senator Susan Collins, are breaking ranks, demanding a defined strategy. But for now, the Republican leadership in the Senate, including John Thune, is deferring to the president. This means Trump has effectively won the right, in his view, to keep the pressure on Iran indefinitely, without a single vote from Congress.
Why is Iran offering deals now? Because the pressure isn't just coming from the U.S. Navy, it's coming from inside. Reports from Iran International suggest a massive rift in Tehran. President Masoud Pezeshkian and the parliament speaker are reportedly trying to fire Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi. Why? Because Araghchi is accused of bypassing the elected government and taking orders directly from the Revolutionary Guard, IRGC, and Commander Ahmad Vahidi. The Iranian leadership is split into 3, maybe 4 factions. One group wants peace at any cost to save the economy, while the IRGC is using the ceasefire to reconstitute their hidden missile launchers. Satellite imagery recently showed Iranian crews clearing debris from underground silos that were hit by U.S. and Israeli strikes. Trump highlighted this disunity, calling the leadership messed up and disjointed.
So where do we go from here? The Operation Epic Fury campaign is now in a strange limbo. We have a ceasefire that isn't a peace treaty, and a war that the president says has ended, but the Navy says is still being enforced. Keep an eye on 2 things. Oil prices. With the Strait of Hormuz still under threat and the blockade active, gas prices are hitting record highs in the U.S. This is the biggest political risk for the Trump administration. The wild card move. Trump hinted that his options are either to blast them away or make a deal. If the next proposal from Pakistan doesn't include massive nuclear concessions, we could see a resumption of airstrikes by next week. The 60-day deadline has passed. The legal battle in D.C. is just beginning, and the people of Iran are facing 50% inflation. One thing is certain: the maximum pressure 2.0 campaign has reached its most dangerous phase.